Okay. I'm gonna delete that video. Okay. 25 surprising facts about Disney's most famous characters. A Disney dive. From the classic The Brand, many of our most beloved film characters of all time come from Walt Disney Studios. But when it comes to many of these Disney characters, there's more than meets the eye, both in the lore of the characters themselves, behind the scenes. Surprisingly, here's what Mickey Mouse was almost called. Which of your favorite characters were nearly a bad guy? And more fun trivia about the Disney characters you know and love. Share these facts the next time you're waiting in line at the parks, or just check the fascinating facts about Disneyland. Mickey Mouse was almost named Mortimer Mouse. When Walt Disney suggested the name to his wife, Lillian, she didn't think the name matched the character's personality. He later came up with Mickey Mouse, and the rest history. Mortimer Mouse eventually became Mickey's taller, more arrogant nemesis, sporadically appearing in print and short films since 1936. Check, check out the vintage photos of Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Mickey and Minnie have the same birthday. In 1933, Walt Disney started the Mickey's birthday was October 11th, 1928. Since that was the day on which the first picture started, Walt Disney originally reported, but in 1978, Dave Smith, founder of Disney's Archives, changed the date to November 18, 1928. The premiere of Steamboat Willie, the 1928 animal short, officially debuted Mickey and Minnie Mouse to the world, which meant that date was Minnie's birthday too. Do you know why Mickey and Minnie and many other Disney characters wear gloves? Snow White's voice actress snuck into premiere of the film. If you're Disney fans, like, you already know that making 1937's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs the first full-length animated movie ever was a massive gambler for Disney against all odds. It paid off, and Snow White was gigantic success, kickstarting Disney's animation domination. But not only the woman who voiced Snow White herself, Adrienne Caselotti, not credited in the film or in its advertising. In fact, none of the voice actors were. She wasn't even invited in the film premiere. As told the animator, she and the voice actors for the prince, Harry Stockwell, tried to attend the premiere, but because neither of them had tickets, the woman at the door wouldn't let them in, so they just snuck in when she was looking and sat up in the balcony so no one would notice them. Snow White came out before any of Disney's park existence, but got a look at what Disney parks look like through the decades. Robin Williams almost said no to the role of the genie. When the early days of animation, voice actor was kind of old, though today's film studio often casts big stars as their voice actors, and if there was a single casting decision they brought about this change, it was the casting of Robin Williams. and the Genie in 1992 Aladdin. Disney knew Williams the man for the job, but Williams was reluctant to be a cog in a giant merchandise selling entertainment enterprise, but Disney wanted him for the role so badly they made animations of the genie performing his stand-up routines. He said yes to the film of Worst Toys and Stuff. Disney did not honor his request, triggering a bit of feud between Williams and Disney executives. That's world last several years. They eventually patched things up and William returned for an Aladdin sequel. Several Disney characters have stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. On November 18, 1978, Mickey Mouse became not only the first Disney character to get star, but first ever cartoon character to get 16 more stars have since been awarded to Disney characters Snow White, 1987, Kermit the Frog, 2002, Donald Duck, 2004, Winnie the Pooh, 2006, Tinkerbell, 2010, and The Muppets, 2012. When you meet the cast members at Disney, make sure you follow these unspoken rules. Anna and Elsa are technically not Disney princess. Okay, this is a little confusing. People generally say Disney princesses to refer to any princess in a Disney movie, but technically there's an official branded lineup. The 12th official Disney princesses as listed on the website are Snow White, Cinderella, Aura, Sleeping Beauty, Ariel, Bella, Jasmine, Pocahontas, Milan, Tiana, Rapunzel, Merida, and Mona. No Anna and no Elsa. No Elsa to be found. But how can that be when Frozen and its sequel are far and away the most successful high-grossing Disney movie involving princesses? Well, it's because of that success Frozen was profited enough to become a franchise of its own. Anna and Elsa do not need the official Disney princess branding as they're already successful enough Disney characters on their own, and they have as of Frozen 2, neither of them actually is a princess anymore. Anna is a queen, and Elsa is a good goddess spirit. So now it makes the narrative sense not to have them on the list too. Maleficent and Cinderella's stepmother are the same person. In real life, this is an actress, Eleanor Audley, voiced both Lady Trelawney, Cinderella's wicked stepmother, and Magnificent, the villain in Sleeping Beauty. Audley have prolific careers in television, appearing on shows like The Man from U.N.C.L.E. and The Dick Van Dyke Show before her death in 1991. Pocahontas is the only Disney princess based on a real person, but that doesn't mean that Disney's movie actually portray what happened in real life. According to Smithson's magazine, Pocahontas' real name was Amute. Pocahontas was just a nickname meaning playful one, an ill-behaved child. She was a child when she met John Smith, not as an adult, as he was and they didn't have a romantic relationship. This has landed it on our list of the most historically inaccurate movies. Only two Disney princesses have supernatural powers. Do you know Disney characters well enough? The two princesses that have powers, while Disney princess movie tend to focus the plot on some sort of magic. The main leading ladies rarely possess magical abilities themselves. The two expeditions are Rapunzel with her healing glowing hair and the Elsa with her icy powers. And if you're only talking about official Disney princesses, there's only one. All of Disney princesses, though, have the powers to grace us with some inspiring words to live by, like all of these Disney princesses' quotes. Solly has a ton of hair. The big blue protagonistic in Monsters Inc. has more than 2.3 million individual hairs. Since each one needed to be animated, it took about 12 hours just to produce a single frame with Solly. Check out these copycat recipes from your favorite Disney movies. And Dalmatians have ton of spots. More than 6.4 million spots appear on the dogs in the movie 101 Dalmatians. Each puppy has 32. Their mother Perdita had 68 and their father Pongo has 72. The crab. The crab from The Little Mermaid isn't named Sebastian. As revealed at the beginning of the film, his full name is Horatio Thalanos Ignatius Crustaceus Sebastian. We can understand why he shortened it. Find out which rule about things are banned from Disney movies The Little Mermaid breaks. Ariel almost didn't sing Part of Your World. The show-stopping tune, the new iconical final splash shot, was almost caught from The Little Mermaid. Walt Disney Studios, charming at the time, Jeffrey Katzenberg, worried that the kids would get bored during the slow song, and even saw it happening during test screening. But the man who wrote the lyrics to the song, Howard Ashman, told him what a big mistake it would be to cut the song. It's part of your world that makes the audience fall in love with the roots from Ariel, he argued. Without it, her character, the movie as whole, would be nearly as compelling, so thankfully the song stayed. Do you know the potential real-life reasons so many Disney characters, including Ariel, don't have mums? The Beast has features of many animals. Animator Glenn Keane told AnimatorView.com that he created the titular character from Beauty and the Beast with legs of a wolf, the tail of a dog, the body of a bear, the head of a buffalo, the eyebrows of a gorilla, the muzzle of a wild boar, and the mane of a lion. Jackie Chan played two popular Disney roles. Yes, that's right. In the Chinese translation of Beauty and the Beast, Jackie Chan voiced the Beast. In the Chinese version of Mulan, he dubbed Captain Li Shang. He sang for both roles. Did you know you can learn these impressive words just by listening to Disney songs? The man who voiced Donald Duck has more than just one role. Clarence Nash is mostly known for voicing Donald Duck, a role he played for 50 years. His nephews Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Daisy Duck, in some of her early appearances, but he also appears in other animated short and films as the voice of random barnyard animals, including a chirping bluebird, a horse, a bear, additional dog, and 101 Dalmatians, and of course ducks. Learn some secrets Disney park employees won't tell you. Dumbo was almost on the cover of Time. When Disney's fifth animated film was released in the summer of 1941, it was met with the praise from critics, the audience alike. It made almost 2.5 million. By the time the holidays came around, Time had planned to honor Dumbo. The cover of December 29th, 1941 issues as Mammal of the Year instead of Person of the Year. But after December 7, attacks on Pearl Harbor, news have to take priority according to Walt Disney org.org. However, the precious pachyderm was still happening in the cinema section of the magazine. Find out if Disney's film was the most popular movie that the year you were born. Lady from Lady and the Tramp is based on a real dog. The dog was also named Lady, a Springer Spaniel that belonged to Disney writer named Joe Grant. After seeking sketches of the dog, Walt Disney told Grant to create a storyboard with them, ended up scrapping the idea. It was until Disney read a story called Happy Dan, the Whistling Dog, about a dog from the other side of the tracks. That revealed the story with Grant's original sketch. There are 20 things you didn't know were banned from Disney parks. Walt Disney didn't like the spaghetti scene in Lady and the Tramp. It may seem crazy considering a brief scene that had iconic in pop culture, but when Disney first heard the idea of the two dogs sharing a bowl of spaghetti, he wasn't convinced that it would be very clean cut scene. Former studios are to Stephen Bagini told Yahoo Movies, as you can imagine, if you have two pets, they eat a plate of spaghetti. It's hard to envision that being too graceful. Luckily, an animator created a mock-up of the scene and convinced Disney to give it a green light. If you're an expert on these Disney characters, you can probably ace this Disney trivia game. The villain from Up was inspired by a real guy. Remember Charles Muntz, the heroic explorer turned twist villain voiced by Christopher Plummer of 2009 Up? When he shares some intriguing parallels with a real villain in the story of Disney in the 1920s, the very early days of Disney's animation. A man named Charles Mintz, subtitled, entered a contact contract with Walt and Roy Disney to produce cartoons starring a character called Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit. But secretly, Mintz was hiring away many of Disney's animators to work for his company, Winkler Productions, and Walt tried to find another distribution for Oswald with no success. But it ended up being a blessing in disguise. Walt stopped working on Oswald cartoon altogether, and instead Eworks, his chef, animator, created a new character, Mickey Mouse. Perhaps you heard of him. He kept his creation under wraps. Fast forward 80 years, and a Pixar film released a villain exploring trying to find captured rare, valuable animal character Kevin the Bird named Charles Muntz. Yeah, we're pretty sure there's not a coincidence. Winnie the Pooh named an adorable origin. When you really stop and think, its silly old bear has rather odd, even giggle-inducing name, but the reason he's known as Pooh in the first ever Winnie the Pooh book by A. Minnie, the narrator explains that Pooh wouldn't often have flies buzzing around his nose. Okay, the narrator explains that Pooh wouldn't often have flies buzzing around his nose, and get them off he tried to blow them, making a Pooh sound into the 1977 Disney film Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. You can see him do this, true to his origins. Find out whether these popular Disney park rumors are true or not. But the real story isn't even cooler. While the Pooh designer has a universe explained, the Winnie part comes from a real-life bear, and it's pretty incredible story. A. Minnie brought her son, Christopher Robin, to London Zoo, where young Christopher's favorite animal was a black bear named Winnie. Christopher Robin then ended up naming his own teddy bear Winnie after the real bear, but it's Winnie's origins that are really interesting. A veteran named Harry Sembrum Colibam, Harry Colibam, on his way to the World War I, purchased a bear cub from hunters who killed its mother, narrating the bear Winnie. After his hometown of Winnipeg, he brought her with him to England, where she became beloved by entire regents. But when he was shipped off to the front, he donated Winnie to the London Zoo, where she remains and would eventually become beloved by the one Christopher Robin inspired the enduring fictional tale. Find out which Disney characters you can meet in the parks anymore. Woody was almost a villain. Not many animated franchises captured the hearts that Toy Story had. It gained 4 feature films, several short, and even the most popular ride in the Disney parks. But when Pixar was drafting the film and lovable cowboy doll Woody in a different direction, the character choice made it as far as test screening with Tom Hanks' voice. That scene where Woody accidentally knocks Buzz out the window. Originally, Woody pushes him entirely on purpose. He also lured over Andy's room and bossed the other toys around. He wasn't an outright villain. He was still intended to be the redeemable protagonistic of the movie, but as the footage shows, he was pretty darn unlikable. Luckily, viewers of the test screening made it clear these actions by the film hero just didn't work, and Woody and the film itself was transformed for the better. So was Bing Bong. Pixar's emotionally littered 2015 film Inside Out, and no shortage of moments that make you cry. One of the most devastating is when Bing Bong Riley's imaginary friend allows himself to be forgotten so that Joy can save the day. But while Bing Bong turns out to be a hero, the writers intently planned to have him be a fairly antagonistic character. A deleted scene from the early production of the film shows him rebelling against Riley's growing up, fighting to keep her as a kid so that he can stay in her life. He antagonizes the construction crews who are expanding Riley's mind and encouraging Joy to join him. Inside Out has one of our favorite funny foreign language title of well-known movies. And so was Elsa. We're noticing a bit of a trend. But Elsa, Queen of the Disney herself, one of the most beloved, most dressed up, most sang along to Disney characters in history, says it isn't so well. It's the character's story of Frozen was much more directly based on Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale, The Snow Queen. He's i.e. a villainous sorceress traps the kingdom in an external winter. The Disney powers that we fully planning on going in the direction with the film, but pitches were landing with a resound thud. After lots of workshopping, brainstorming, and soul-searching, the filmmakers landed on the idea of Elsa as a lonely queen to be terrified of powerful magic. Everyone keeps inciting she repressed in a record-shattering moment. Modern Classic was born, kept working on your knowledge of Disney characters with these tricky questions to test your cartoon trivia.